When you think of Vietnam, what often comes to mind are images of a war-torn past and the grim aftermath of the conflict. Vietnam's history is marked by a series of tumultuous events, from shaking off colonialism in the mid-19th century to grappling with the spread of communism in the 1950s. These struggles set the stage for a larger and more well-known chapter in history, the Vietnam War, also referred to as the American War in Vietnam. Lasting until 1975, this conflict left a profound impact on the country. In today's video, we'll delve into the dark side of Vietnam, exploring its history, its lingering scars from war, and some lesser-known aspects of dark tourism that go beyond the Vietnam War. So, grab a seat and let's journey into the shadows of this intriguing and complex nation. Located in the heart of Hanoi, Vietnam, Hoa Lo Prison carries a chilling history. Originally constructed by the French during their colonial rule in 1896, this foreboding stone structure was erected at the expense of an entire village, renowned for its craftsmanship. It's here that the dark tale begins. In the decades leading up to Vietnam's independence, the prison, known as Maison Centrale, was designed to hold a maximum of 450 inmates. However, as France's grip on Indochina weakened in the 1950s, over 2,000 prisoners were crammed into its confines, setting the stage for inhumane conditions and rampant brutality. During the Vietnam War, Hoa Lo Prison served as one of the detention centers for American pilots shot down over North Vietnam. These POWs endured harsh treatment, including torture, in an attempt to extract statements critical of the USA and supportive of the North Vietnamese cause. Among the most famous inmates were Douglas Pete Peterson and John McCain. Peterson later returned to Vietnam as the first U.S. ambassador after diplomatic relations were re-established in the mid-1990s. McCain, on the other hand, made headlines by running for the U.S. presidency in 2008. Though he ultimately lost to Barack Obama, McCain also penned a book about his harrowing experiences in Vietnam, detailing his 5-year ordeal, including his time in the Hanoi Hilton. In 1993, much of the prison was razed to make room for a new high-rise development project. However, one wing was preserved to stand as a somber reminder of the past. Today, this preserved section houses the Hoa Lo Prison Museum, a place where visitors can delve into the chilling history of this dark chapter in Vietnam's past. During the Vietnam War, these tunnels served as the ultimate ace up the sleeves of the Viet Cong guerrillas. Located at the southern end of the Ho Chi Minh Trail, these underground passages were the epicenter of their operations in South Vietnam. After conducting nighttime attacks, these fighters could vanish from sight by disappearing into these intricate tunnels. The entrances to the tunnel network were so small and cleverly camouflaged that American soldiers patrolling during the day often walked right over them without a clue of what was underneath. Crafty, right? To hide their presence, the guerrillas were masters of deception. They'd divert cooking smoke through long vents, making it emerge far away under a pile of leaves, like morning mist. They had underground wells for water, and they even covered their waste with ash to ensure it didn't stink. And when it came to footprints, they'd wear sandals made from old rubber tires, leaving tracks that led in the wrong direction, all part of their genius strategy to baffle the Americans. Their resourcefulness extended to weaponry too. They repurposed American anti-tank mines, making them explode at the slightest disturbance, like a twig poking out. Metal from artillery shells became metal spikes for deadly booby traps, showcasing both inventiveness and cruelty. At Cu Chi, these tunnels were multifunctional. They housed meeting rooms for planning, an underground hospital, storage rooms, kitchens, and more. It is an impressive engineering feat, to say the least. Unsurprisingly, the Vietnamese take immense pride in these tunnels, which played a pivotal role in their fight against a far more technologically advanced enemy. Post-war, the Vietnamese government designated parts of the tunnel system as a national monument. As Vietnam opened up to foreign tourists in the 1990s, the Cu Chi tunnels became a prominent stop on most tour itineraries. Today, these tunnels stand not only as a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the Viet Cong, but also as a reminder of the sacrifices made during a turbulent time in history. Now, let's start with a little twist. Ho Chi Minh, the man himself, didn't actually want a grand mausoleum. In his will, he requested to be cremated, with his ashes scattered across different parts of Vietnam. He was known for his modest and unassuming nature, far from the typical symbols of power. Interestingly, Mao Zedong had similar wishes, desiring cremation over a lavish mausoleum. But both leaders' posthumous requests were not granted. Fast forward to 1969, with the Vietnam War still raging on. Ho Chi Minh's successors must have believed that his remains were too precious to be cremated, so they decided to preserve his body. And in 1975, after Vietnam's official victory in the war, Ho Chi Minh found his final resting place in the mausoleum we see today. Now, you might wonder how they preserved his body so impeccably. Well, Vietnam received some assistance from Russia, who had perfected the art of embalming and preservation, famously used for their own revolutionary leader, Lenin. It's said that Lenin's mausoleum was the inspiration for Ho Chi Minh's resting place. Interestingly, this knowledge wasn't kept to themselves. When Mao Zedong passed away, China also decided to preserve him, and they got a helping hand from their Vietnamese comrades who had learned from the Russians. It's like a chain of embalming wisdom passed through history. So here we are at the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, one of the big 4 mausoleums in the world, where you can not only pay your respects to a legendary leader, but also witness the enduring legacy of preservation techniques that cross borders and ideologies. On March 16, 1968, a group of U.S. soldiers embarked on a search-and-destroy mission in the villages of My Lai and My Khe. To their dismay, they found no Viet Cong fighters, but encountered innocent civilians, mostly women, children, and elderly individuals, completely unarmed. What followed can only be described as a horrifying massacre, one of the darkest war crimes attributed to the United States during the Vietnam War. The death toll remains a point of contention, with varying figures. The official Vietnamese estimate is 504, while the latest American figure stands at 347. Confusion arises because My Lai was just one part of the larger village area known as Son My. The motives behind the U.S. soldiers' actions are still unclear. Some suggest they were driven by anger over recent losses due to booby traps and mines, while others point to inadequate leadership or even sheer bloodlust. It's a tragedy that seems to have spiraled out of control. The story of My Lai might have remained hidden if not for U.S. veteran Ron Rittenhauer, who worked tirelessly to bring it to light. It took well over a year for the story to gain public attention, and when it did, it fueled the anti-war movement in the US and worldwide. Only one perpetrator, Lieutenant William Calley, was tried and sentenced for murder, though he served only a short time in prison. Others involved in the massacre went unpunished, a pattern all too familiar in such cases. In the darkness, there were rays of light. Hugh Thompson, a helicopter pilot, intervened during the My Lai massacre. He stopped U.S. soldiers from killing more civilians and flew some to safety. It took 3 decades for his heroic act to be officially recognized, and now it's the subject of a Hollywood film. Today, My Lai stands as the only recognized war crime site in Vietnam that can be visited. Despite the darkness that lingers here, it serves as a somber reminder of the brutal realities of war, a place where history confronts the visitor with its ugliest face. As we conclude our journey through the dark side of Vietnam, we've explored the chilling chapters of a nation's history that are not often in the spotlight, from the haunting Hoa Lo Prison to the grim memories of the My Lai and even the controversial Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. These sites are a testament to the complexities of Vietnam's past. It's crucial to remember that behind the serene landscapes and vibrant culture, there are stories of suffering, resilience, and humanity. These stories remind us of the lasting impact of war, the cost of conflict, and the importance of peace. We hope this exploration has shed light on the less trodden paths of Vietnam's history and provided a deeper understanding of the country's journey. Thank you for joining us on this thought-provoking tour, and may we continue to seek a world where such dark chapters are never repeated. If you found this journey intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating explorations of history and culture. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep exploring the world's many stories, even the darkest ones. Goodbye for now.